Hey everybody, Tom Langland here with RVTexasYall.com. Our video today is 10 things we always carry in our RV just in case. So stay tuned in the video and we'll show you those 10 things. For our first thing, we're set up right here on the hookup side intentionally because all of these things pretty much take place on the hookup side. And so right away, the number one thing we feel is most important in RVing is a surge protector. And yeah, do you need one for your RV? Do you have to have it? No, you don't have to have it, but we would strongly recommend it. It only takes one power surge from an RV park or wherever you're at to just blow out all your electronics. And believe me, my in-laws had this happen on their way to Disney, that it blew out all their electronics. So believe me, it can happen, but it's real nice to have a surge protector, and you can get them for both 30 and 50 amp. This is a 50 amp surge protector, and as we go on, I'll show you we have others, but we wanted to start right here, and that's the number one tip. And now we're going to move on to our other tips. Okay, so now as part of our first tip, we also carry a 30 amp surge protector. Now with our rig, it's 50 amp service, but you know, some of the parks you might go into only have 30 amp. So therefore, we need a 30 amp surge protector, so we make sure we still are protected. So that's still part of the first tip, but if you have a 50 amp, we'd suggest also getting a 30 amp surge protector. Now along with that, another tip is to get you an extension cord for your 30 or 50 amp hookup service. You never know, sometimes the power boxes are a lot further away from where you're setting up. So having this really saves. We actually went to the Balloon Fiesta in New Mexico, and we would not had power if we didn't have our extension cord. So this was really nice to have. We very rarely used it, but when we did use it, we absolutely had to have it. So that's another thing we would suggest getting. Okay, now another tip is power converters. Now these are really important because this right here is a 30 amp plug, goes into our 50 amp plug. So let's say we're at an RV park and it happens at a lot of campgrounds, state park campgrounds, where they only have 30 amp hookups. So we can still, with this conversion, we can take it from 30 to where our 50 amp plug will plug in, and then we can still get power. Now we can only run one AC at a time when we have this, and we got to kind of watch our power. We can't use too many things at one time, but we can still function, and that makes it easier. Also, we have going the other way for you people that before we used to have a 30 amp thing. So on the rare occasion you go to a park that maybe only has 50 amp service, but you have a 30 amp rig. Well, you can go from 50 to 30, and that 30 will plug in. And then also we have a thing that goes all the way. If we use the 30 amp one, we take it down to 110. We can convert the power down to 110 for a trickle charge. So like when we have it hooked up at our storage facility, we can trickle charge our batteries. Okay, so now for our next tip here, we have a set of leveling blocks. Now a lot of you may be saying, hey, everybody knows about leveling blocks, but for people like us that have RVs that have automatic jacks on them, that leveling jacks, they may not think about leveling blocks, but sometimes you're on some campgrounds where it's not quite as level and you don't really want your tires up in the air. So you can put these under your tires to make sure that they're not up off the ground and you still have the stability of the tires, because you want that if you can have that. So So this is a nice thing to have, even if you have a big rig, because you might need to level it a little bit with these leveling pads. Next up is a water regulator. Very, very important. So when you hook up your water at the campground or RV resort, you never know that pressure. You got to make sure that it's not shooting too much pressure into your RV, which could cause damage. So you want to have a water pressure regulator, and so that's something you do want to get. So when you're RVing, just in case you hit some bad water pressure. Okay, so now here for tip number 6 is have a secondary water hose, because you never know how far that water is from your RV. You may not be able to make it with just one hose. Sometimes hookups are even on the opposite side. So you just want to make sure that you have enough water hose to get to your water. Also, we even have a third water hose. Our third water hose is for our black tank flush. And we just don't feel good about using our regular water hose for our black tank flush. So I think it's probably a good idea to just have a separate water hose for your black tank flush as well. So you might actually need 3. Most of the time you only need 1 to hook up at the campground. But there are those occasions, and we've had them happen, where we've used a second hose to be able to get to the water. So that's tip number 6. Okay, tip 7. I'm going to kind of use our tip 6 as part of our tip 7, because bungee cords is tip 7, because you can use them for so many different things. But one great thing is for like our hoses. And these bungee cords that we have are even a little bit different. They come with a ball on the end of them, so they catch real easily, and they're easy to put on when you have things like a hose. So you can keep all your hose together, and it makes it easier in your basement storage to store your hoses. And then of course everybody knows you can use bungees for so many different applications, and we do. And these come in multiple sizes. And on all these things, on all these tips that you'll see down below, we will put in the comment section, we'll put the links to these different products if you want to take a look at them, and places where you might be able to buy them. Okay, so now on to number 8, the old dreaded sewer hose, or stinky slinky, some people call it. But the tip here is, one just may not cut it. We always carry a backup, because we have had many campgrounds where the sewer connection was too far for one. We actually carry a third that's just a real small one, so if it just needs a little extension to get us to the sewer connection, that's what we use. But and one of ours, on another kind of micro tip, is it's like a slinky, and so you can really compact it up so it fits in a much smaller space. So, and that's actually what we use as our main hose when we connect it in, and then our backup hose is this one. So we can pretty much, we can go a long distance to get, and sometimes we have. Some places we've been, the connections have been quite a ways away from our dump. So that is tip number 8 on the stinky slinky. Okay, now on to number 9. Number 9 is called a donut. Yes, it's not the kind you want to eat, folks. It's a rubber piece that fits into some of the sewer holes to really seal it a lot better. And there are some RV parks and stuff that require a donut. So it's something you really need to get, because there are going to be some places that require you to have a donut if you want to use their sewer system. So that's what it's called. It's a donut, and that's tip number 9. Well, last but not least is the old blue boy, and some people call it a tote, but it's for dumping your tanks when you're boondocking or at a place that may not have sewer hookups, and you're staying extended days and you can't quite make it and you don't want to disconnect everything. Well, they make a blue boy, and we've used this a few times. It's come in handy, and a lot of the state parks here in Texas don't have sewer connections. So I'm just going to kind of demonstrate this one for you too. How it kind of works is it has its own connection that connects right into like your gray tank, and then you fill it up, and I'm going to kind of show you when you do it, this will become kind of heavy. Okay, so what we do and what a lot of people do, I'm going to kind of show you how we connect it, and you take it, because you're not often right by the dump. So the easy way to do this is like this. Let me show you. Once you have it filled up, you just take it over to your vehicle, and these handles attach right on the ball there, and you'll just ride right down to the dump, and you will dump this tank, and then maybe you can go a few more days and extend your trip. So that is your 10 tips that you may or may not need when you go camping, but they're sure nice to have. And I was going to throw in one little bonus tip, a thing that's happened to us at some other campgrounds, that some of your smaller RV parks may not take credit card, so you might want to take your checkbook too sometimes when you're going camping. And because we've gotten to a spot before where they were like, oh, we don't take credit cards, so or the credit card machine was broken, so you're able to have your checkbook and pay, and there was no problem. So that'll do it for these 10 tips. And thanks for joining us. Put comments down in the comment box, hit like, share. Please visit our website, rvtexasyall.com. We have other tip videos also on our YouTube channel. Visit us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Our Village, and we have a new community on Facebook, so please come join our community on Facebook. We also have one on Our Village that we're trying to build as well. So thanks for joining us again. Until next time, safe travels and happy camping. Bye.